All right, 5 flags in the trucks. So I'm going 65% on the brake bias at these short tracks. I'm a little bit more lenient on the brake bias because it's very easy to overcook the corners. And if you overcook the corners with too low of a brake bias, there's no really coming back from it. I still think low brake bias here is probably optimal because that rotational entry is pretty important. But I think for comfort based, you might want to go a little bit higher. So this could be either a first or a second lap hot lap here. Looks like I caught some shade here. Let's see if I can do okay with that. Get all the way to the bottom. It'll be a little bit hard to power it off the corner. Try to get all the way to the bottom and just roll the bottom. Get back on that throttle. Be very patient, full throttle. That was pretty good. I'm going to roll around this second lap and then set up for a third lap. Give that one an attempt and then go with the better one. So just setting up, turning down the track. A little bit harder entry here, really trying to just roll on the bottom. Lost a little grip there, so it's going to be a little bit looser on exit. Had to wait on it a little bit longer than I wanted to. But if I can roll the bottom like this, that's where all the speed comes. Sliding up a little bit more. Exit of 4 is very hard to push because of some of the bumps there. And it's going to be very easy for you to go full throttle super early and try to get off the corner. So let's just go with the first one then. That is not how bright it was when I drove it. iRacing replay is tripping. Okay. So my goal here is to get an arc into the corner. I don't want to get to the bottom too early because if I get to the bottom too early, my angle isn't good enough. And the reason that having a really sharp turning angle is important here is because as we're coming off the corner, if we want to have any throttle in it at all, we need to be straightening our wheel out. And if we are too narrow into the corner, if we're not turning in with this arc, what's going to happen is that when we try to get back on the throttle, we're going to have more wheel in the car because our nose angle isn't set yet. And then from there, when you get on the throttle, it disengages the car. So the best way, and I probably could have full throttled this, but I was a little bit scared. I really want to be on the bottom even a little bit longer than that, but this was pretty good. So as long as we can keep that angle, see how I'm never correcting back to the right? I'm really trying to maintain that angle down the track the whole time. If ever you have to give up on that angle, you just won't have an aggressive exit or else you're going to spin out. Kind of like right here. But you see, like I had the wheel just about straight right here. Like that, yeah, that's turned, but compared to this, that's like almost straight. And the bump right there, you hear listen to the revs real quick. There's a bump right there. Right at the stoplight. Where if you do not have your wheel straight over that bump, you will be very loose. Otherwise, it's just pretty much the same entry. Wide entry, wrap the bottom, keep it on the bottom for as long as you can, and then as you try to come up, try to make sure that your wheel is straight or else you're going to have to do that over the bump. I'm not really using too much brake in either corner. Just a little drag into the corner. That's why I was like, okay, maybe low brake bias is good. But I don't think getting down to the bottom of corner entry is my issue. Like my angle is fine the whole way. So I think I'm okay with keeping the brake bias a little higher here. Good safety blanket. So for our long run, really you just got to make sure that you're not sliding your rear tire. At these short tracks with the overpowered cars, tire wear is like very, you don't have to worry about it. What you have to worry about is tire heat. And the way that we avoid tire heat is we just keep all 4 tires from sliding. We just keep it on that baseline where all 4 tires are just driving lateral or straight along the track, no sliding. And then we're in that kind of sweet spot where, oh, see right there, that would have heated up my tire. And that's what makes this track so hard, is that a lot of the tracks where you drive, it's very predictable when you're going to get loose because it's just throttle plus steering wheel equals disengage right rear. Well, Five Flags has so many bumps, especially on the second half of these corners, that kind of equation doesn't work anymore. Like suddenly we could be holding throttle and wheel for the entire corner and still snap loose because of the bumps. So I think one of the things is practice laps. This might be a track where you need practice laps to kind of internalize where the bumps are on the track so that you know how to approach a corner depending on the very minute differences of where you are on the track. Oh, great, I'm running fastest laps now. But you can see like there's kind of no difference between qualifying and long run. Like we're just running a short, and I mean, that's kind of how it is for short tracks. We worry about tire heat more than tire wear. I'm pretty sure you can get like another 10th off of what I'm doing. It's just hard to be consistent. I'm trying to come up with consistent lines for you guys. Even though I got really loose on my hot lap right there, see, you really got to wait for the steering wheel before you throttle off of 4, just because of all those bumps. So for instance, usually like in 1 and 2, I would throttle up like right here, but now I'm just gonna wait because like the car just does not like it. And that's the other thing, is that's why it's super important to have your car's nose pointed really early, because you do not want to have to make up angle in the second half of the corner with those bumps. You want to be turning down the track in 3 and 4 and driving through the bumps. You don't want to be sliding up the track and driving across the bumps. And that's how you want to deal with bumps in general, not just at 5 flags. So like if I'm turning down the whole way here, I can drive through the bumps. Whoa, never mind. I think I drove down into the bumps a little too much. Maybe a little bit too aggressive throttle. But once you do that enough times, you're going to be ice skating because tire heat is just so brutal on a track like this. So really try to avoid those slidey moments. It's going to be hard with other cars around you. I assume you're not going to get too many long runs. This is going to be a bloodbath, and you guys probably already know that. But just to kind of prove my point, you'll probably see we probably have, yeah, more right rear than right front. Look at the tire. The rear tire temperature is rarely ever hotter than the right front. So that is a bad sign for how easy it's going to be to drive out there. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope to see you all on the track.